Elaza, how are you?
Hey, hi. Hot today, huh? Very hot.
Nice.
Yeah, good. Kiss.
What are we on?
49, no?
Yeah, I'm MTS, yes.
You have the kids there by you now?
Yeah, I have all the kids by me. Yeah. You can hear the swimming in the pool. I'll get a
Good.
mute.
That's good.
We're on Mem Test 49. Maybe when the woman goes back to her father's house because she's divorced or her husband died, maybe now she goes back to all the various, she would get skila if she was mizaneh. As if she hadn't been given over to the shluchei Baal. Amar Rav Ahu kvar paska Tanav Rabbi Shmuel, the neder almana grusha, the neder made by an almana grusha, kol asher asra nafsha yakum alea. She has to abide by those nedorim. Ma tamud loimer, v'alo mutzeis miklalav v'mutzeis miklabal. She's been married off, so she's out of the reshus of the father. And the husband died, so she's out of the position, out of the possession of the husband. El haresha masra l'shluchei Baal. We must be talking about a case where the father gave her to the shluchei Baal, or shemasra shluchei Baal. V'nis arm lo b'derech on his garsha. On the way, she became a widow or divorced. Heichani karba beisav yeshalzu beis bala shalzu. Is she in limbo? Once she's out of the possession of the father for 1 second, shuv eno yachol la'afir. He has no more power over her. Amra papa fanan namitanina. Habal nara moirasa. Ena chayiv ad shtei nar psula moirasa. V'hi b'vei savia. Bishul nara v'lo bogeres. She can't be 12 and a half. B'sula v'lo ba'ula. She cannot have had relations before she had kiddushin. Ma'arasa v'lo nesua. She goes under chuppah. B'vei savia l'mutei mai. What does b'vei savia means? Isn't it lab l'mutei mosra av l'shluchei Baal? It's the case where the father gave her to the shluchei Baal. It's also considered outside of his possession. An adulteress, once she's in Rishus Baal, even if she hasn't had relations with the Baal, it's Yotze Miskila. Because Nichlas al Rishus Baal Ba'almo, Shma Mino, Mishnah. Ha'av eno chayv b'mezonos bi. So technically, a father does not have to provide mezonos for his daughter while he's alive. Zeh midrash dosh Rabbi Elazar ben Yosef chacham v'ker miyavna. Habonim yirshu. Sons inherit the ksuba of their mother. V'abonos yizonu. The daughters get nourished from the estate of the, from the ksuba and from the estate of the father. So ma abonim einon yorshin elachar misasav. The sons don't inherit until after the father's death. Rashi says, "Shtei takonas tiknu based in b'tnai ksuba. Harbonim yirshu ksubas b'nei dichrin." Benin dichrin diavu lechi minoi. Any male children that I have from you. In yarsin kesuk subzech yesral chalukin di hainu. Habodim yuksuvas benin dichrin. We'll learn later on what the ksuvas benin dichrin is.
Who has priority, the father over
If
the children over the
If the
wife?
if the wife comes in with sons from a different marriage, so he writes in the ksuba that they don't get any more than what they share with the other brothers. This ksuba is been different. And since it only happens after the father's death, the same thing. Daughters are only given mizonos only after the death of the father. But in the life of the father, he has no chiyuv to give her mizonos.
But if a wife dies, who gets priority? The children or the father of her, whatever she has?
Husband inherits his wife.
Okay, so we're going to say here, my buddy, so they get first. The husband gets first, and then the second afterwards, the son gets it.
Here, the father's died already. We're not talking about the father. There's no father here. So the Gemara says, "B'mizonos bito hu de'ena chayiv." Have mizonos b'no chayiv? Are you going to darsh? Are you going to be medayik that daughters don't have to be fed, but sons do? The Gemara says, "No. Bito nami chovahu deleka hamitzvah ikka." There's no chiyuv, but there's a mitzvah if you give mizonos to your daughter. You can't be mechayivim in adin. So therefore, mani masnisu. So the question is, who's our Mishnah? Lo Rab Meir, Lo Rab Yehuda, Lo Rab Yochanan ben Broka, the Tanya. Mitzvah lozun sabonis. It's not a chiyuv, but it's a mitzvah. Kavachomer labonim. And certainly to children, the aske b'toira, the Rab Meir. They're in the yeshiva, so certainly it's a mitzvah to give mizonos to the sons. Ruida Omer mitzvah lozun sabonim, but kavachomer labonis. He says the opposite. It's a mitzvah for the banim, and certainly for the daughters, mishum zilusa. Otherwise, they'll have to go around knocking on doors, and that's embarrassing. Rav Yochanan ben Broka Omer choyva lozun sabonis, lachar misa savian. There's a chiyuv after the father dies for the bonus to get mizonos. When the father's alive, there's no chiyuv. So who is our Mishnah? Mani masnisin. Rab Meir Hamer Bani mitzvah. Rab Meir said it's not a chiyuv; it's only a mitzvah, and we deduced that it's a chiyuv for the sons from our Mishnah. Rab Yehuda Hamer Bani nami mitzvah. Rabbi also said it's only a mitzvah, not a chiyuv. Rav Yochanan ben Broka fil mitzvah nami leka. Forget about a chiyuv; it's not even a mitzvah. So the Gemara says, "He boy same Rab Meir, boy same Rab Yehudi, boy same Rab Yochanan ben Broka." I can explain the conflict according to all three tanoi. He boy same Rab Meir v'achi kamer ha'av eno chayv mizonos bito. Father's not mechuyev to provide mizonos for his daughter. V'hu adin livno. Same case for the son. Ha-mitzvah b'bito ika kavachomer labonim. There's a mitzvah for daughters and certainly for sons. V'haidik tani bito kamash malon dafilu bitu choyvahu deleka. Ha-mitzvah ika. That even for a daughter, it's not a chiyuv. It's only a mitzvah.
Would there be a Maisir Dale for a son to give to father? Does the father have a Maisir Dale of a cotton of a boy like he does with a daughter?
Say it again.
Does the father can take the Maisir Dale of a son who's a cotton, just like he could do with a daughter? Does he also have the right to take?
Because he's toimech, as long as he's getting mizonos from his father.
But if we see don't have to give his onus.
No, you don't have.
So therefore, but he still could take them as he can still take the Maaseh Dea of the son like he does of the daughter.
The Rambam says, "Chayev ha'av lozen es banav uvnoisav kishem ktanim ktanim ad heyosim b'nei sheish." Until 6 years old, a father has to give parnasa to his sons and daughters. Umigil zeh ve'elech zanes yoladav al pi takonos chachamim in takonos usha. Later on in Usha, they made a takana that he has to be made in them as well. Vim lo rotzel zonam gorarim bo. If he doesn't want to give them food, people yell at him. Umachlimim also, they embarrass him. Umachrizin alav b'tzibur v'oimim ploini achzorihu. Ve'ena rotzen lozon bonav. They make a public announcement that he's cruel and he doesn't want to feed his children. He's even worse than a non-kosher bird who takes care of his young. But Bezin can't force him. As long as he's not wealthy. If he's got enough money that Bezin would come and take money from him as tzedakah, you take money from him against his will. Until they're adults. You could do the same thing. You could take, everyone has to give tzedakah, and whoever gives tzedakah less than he's supposed to give, Bezdin also forces and gives him makis until he gives what he's supposed to give. So, father's not chayiv to give his daughter mitzvahs. Kosher can't leave no, and it's certainly not for his sons. Mitzvah of no ikka v'kavachomer lebanos, but there's a mitzvah for the son and kavachomer lebanos. V'hadik tani bito, the fact that it mentioned bito in the Mishnah, kamashman the filu bito choy v'leka, to show that there's no chiyuv for a daughter. There's no chiyuv for son or daughter. There's no mitzvah either. Since in the ksuba, after a father's death, the bonos get mizonos from the estate. Tananami ain't a chayiv. The Tana to tell us that in the lifetime of the father, he's not chayiv to give him mizonos. Or Rabbi Lam Reish Lakish ben Rabbi Bar Chanina. Be'usha iskinu she adam zanes banav noisav kshem ktanim. Takonas usha, one of the takonas is that a father is mazing his children. Is the halacha like that or not? Toshma. Kavasa kamed Rav Yud Amar Lu Yarod Yalda va'abnei Masa Shadya. The snake gives birth and he doesn't feed it? So by human beings it's the same thing. Go make a sign in the public. He's like a raven who doesn't feed his children. Or a raven feeds his children. Even if it's a non-kosher bird. Here's the raya from the Rambam, from the Gemara, that you embarrass him. Does a raven want to feed his children? It's a pasuk that means the parents of a raven don't feed it. It depends. A white raven versus a black raven. Some are cruel, some are not. Rava came to a wealthy man and said, should we give parnasa to your children from tzedakah? Meaning, if you're not giving, we're going to take from you by force, just like we can take tzedakah. The law amarna lo amid, where you cannot force him is when he's not wealthy. Aval amid kafina leal korche, you can force him if he's wealthy. Kiyad Rava kafin Rav Nasan barami vafik b'nei arba mea zuzil tzedakah. They forced a big wealthy man to give 400 zuz to tzedakah. Rabbi Loam Reish Lakish Peusha Iskinu HaKosev Konachasav Levanav. Person in his lifetime gave away his assets to his children. Hu v'ishto nizorim mehem. For the rest of his life, he didn't mean to give everything away to exclude himself. He and his wife can benefit from the assets. Not only that, let's say there's only a daughter, not a son. And the daughter inherits all of the father's estate. And she's married. And the Baal has schus in that. So the almana, though, can gets from his onos even from such a case. So that the almana shouldn't lose that. Even though there's already a prior shibud. And normally the almana doesn't get if there's a prior shibud. So if that's the case, then certainly he and his wife, if he gifted away his assets to his children in his lifetime, will be able to get benefit from the assets in his lifetime. The Shalach Ravin be'igrisa. Ravin sent a letter. Someone who died left his widow and a daughter. Like we said, the almana will get fed, even though the daughter's husband has rights in those assets. Right? Now, Mesa Abbas, what if the daughter dies? It still remains a chiyuv for that husband to feed the almana. And therefore, if you're going to do that, boy, then there's no shayla about he and his wife. Or says no, maybe there would be. Ma'odesema hasamu deleka to Torah. There's nobody else to be torech for the almana, so maybe they were masakin that. He's alive. Maybe he should go to work and be mafarnis himself and his wife. Kamash Shmulan, that no, he doesn't have to do that. So the shaila is Ibarlu Hilchos Kavasi Lesachos. What's the halacha? Toshmad Rachni Rav Yochanan Kamei. Also a Gavra Gochin V'Uneshkel Rav Yochanan Kare. A man came and kissed Rav Yonason on his feet. What's all this? This was an example where he had written his estate to his family, and the family continued to provide mizonos for him, so he was happy. So we see the halachas like that. So the Daf Yomi tomorrow is at 5:00 at the shul, and the Navi Shir will be at 9:00. So Daf Yomi 5:00 at the shul, and the Navi Shir at 9:00.
Shabbos. Chodesh Tov.